Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well and fine. Now, the latest is that the State Department in the United States of America has released a statement about the issues that are going on in Uganda. Now, what is very interesting is that at least whenever you hear that the Americans you have started to break through their conversations, their press briefings, and things of that sort, you just know that you have made progress. And we would like to thank Bobby Wine for that. Uganda, this was not Uganda's first election. We have had over 6 elections in the past. But to make it to the press briefings in the United States of America, when you're complaining about election results and violence, at times it would be so hard. Now, yesterday, the State Department released a statement that was saying that the elections in Uganda were marred with violence. Also, that the military participated in the beating of people on November 18th and 19th, and the people who participated in such actions have not yet been brought to justice. That is one point. Then the gentleman also highlighted that Museveni has been a strategic partner in the Great Lakes region whereby he has helped in supplying troops to the AMISOM, which has helped to keep peace in Somalia and things of that sort. Now, on the other hand, he also said, but we can pursue our interests as well as our values at the same time. Now, that was a very, very powerful statement. I think it was the highlight of the entire briefing. You see, in the Trump administration, Uganda would never even make the cut in his interests in Africa. The only time Trump ever talked about Uganda was only when an American tourist was kidnapped in one of the national parks in the country. And then Trump tweeted about Uganda, saying that the government of Uganda should look for the tourist and hold the people responsible accountable. But no one was there. Actually, when they told them that, they got a few glads there and they said these were the people that kidnapped the lady. Now, since then, we had never heard from the Americans. So some people already say, now, why America this, America that? Yes, America is a very, very important aspect in this entire thing of, Uganda. Because such is where we have been put by Museveni. Because Museveni has relied on these Western powers to prop him up. He has relied on these people by using their money, by buying arms, and all these kind of things. So that is why we need to strike where Museveni, gets the support from. That is why it is very important. Whenever these people make a statement, look here, they give us $1 billion per year in terms of aid. I mean, if you can block that, it can really make a very big dent in Museveni's government. So now the State Department released those 3 statements. I'm going to unpack them. The first one was that Museveni should hold the people accountable who participated in violence. Number 2, Museveni, the strategic partner. Number 3, our interests and values can be handled at the same time. What did he mean with all this? Now, we are very happy with what the Biden administration is doing as we speak today, that it is actually making the situation of Uganda known. It is trying to show the world that actually it is also furthering developments in the country of Uganda. And the fact that they have not yet recognized Museveni as a president, they have not sent him a message, they have not tried to cause him up. By this time in the previous elections, Museveni would have been congratulated by the American embassy and everyone in the European Union and the Western world. But those congratulatory messages are not coming through, and Museveni is wondering what is taking so long. Now, this is what is happening. Now, the 3 things, let us unpack them. So they said Museveni to hold people accountable. Now, I've told the people that you cannot put Museveni and accountability in the same sentence. You cannot put Museveni and transparency in the same sentence. It doesn't work. The sentence will just disintegrate all over apart. Because what this means for Museveni is, in case he tries to hold these people accountable by putting up courts or an independent commission, this is what is going to happen. He will bring up a few people, sacrificial lamb, from his ranks, and then he says, these are the people that committed the crimes on November 18th and 19th that led to over 60 people dead. Right? And then, when he does that, the opposition will come up with the names of the people that were actually taking part in the killing of people. Because the killing of people did not stop on November 18th and 19th, but through the entire election process, during and after the elections, people were killed. So all these people have to be held accountable. Bobby Wine was blocked. You get it? So all of these things that happened, people know these police officers. They know all these kind of people. So if you bring people who are not these officers, then bang, we have you. It means that you held a sham commission and you held a sham court process. Museveni is not new to holding sham court processes and things of that sort, right? Because this is what is happening. You can just see from the election. We went to court. He fixes the court, and the court have premeditated outcomes already that they are going to give the public. They know how to play the script and things of that sort. So as a matter of fact, it showed that the court was impartial. There was no justice. So the American State Department, I think they were just trying to poke Museveni because they know that he cannot provide it. And maybe they will base on that point that he failed to hold these people accountable. And then from that point, this is what we are doing. You get it here? Because they are making a life hard for him to throw in his most trusted lieutenants under the bus. And when you throw your most trusted lieutenants under the bus, what that means for the rest of the lieutenants back there, they will not be able to do your bidding whenever you tell them, because you've gotten one of them and you've just sacrificed them. So the issue of accountability that the Americans are asking for, number one, Museveni cannot provide accountability if it's not in his favor, number one. Number two, the Americans have been making this they have been asking for this for like, I don't know how many times. The ambassador did so, the State Department, Foreign Affairs Committee, everyone has been asking for accountability. Museveni has failed to provide. They have been asking for an independent audit in the election. He has not provided. Why? Because he doesn't even know what the word independence means. Because if you tell him you constitute an independent committee to investigate, in his 35 years of power, he has never had an independent committee. The committees have never been independent in the country of Uganda. The Chief Justice in Uganda was Museveni's cadre, for heaven's sake. He's a former lawyer. He has his relative on the panel of the justices. The court is fixed, the parliament is fixed, the security system is fixed, the legislature is fixed, the police, the army, everything is fixed. So that is what the Americans are trying to ask accountability from. Now, the other point that they asked was, they said that Museveni is a strategic partner in the region, that is the Great Lakes as well as the Horn, because he provides troops to Somalia, peace and all this kind of thing. That is true. Now, you cannot explain this second point without looking at the third, because the third point explains the second one. So the third point was that, whereas he's a strategic partner, we can pursue our interests as well as our values at the same time. Let us try to unpack that. We can pursue our interests as well as our values at the same time. You get it? Now, this is how I understood the statement. That we can do without Museveni, whereby we can still pursue our interests and the values at the same time. Because what Museveni provides in the region, does he have the monopoly to provide that? Is he the only person we can source troops from? That's the question you should be asking. Because if Museveni's only strategic importance in the region has been to provide troops, right? What else can he provide? Well, some people will say that he has been the person, negotiations, blah, 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 blah. Okay. For the past 5 years, how many negotiations has Museveni has Museveni presided over? Is he a man of peace in the region? Now, Museveni cannot be a man of peace in the region without being a man of peace at home. Because peace starts at home. If your home is not peaceful, then no one can call you to the table to mediate in their affairs. Actually, Museveni spent his past 5 years being a complainant in most of the affairs, and he had to get people to mediate in most of his affairs. The affair between Uganda and Rwanda, Museveni was on the other hand. You get it? So you look at the region, number one, Tanzania changes power. Kenya changes power. Burundi changed power. Congo changed power. It is only Rwanda, Uganda, and South Sudan. So the Americans have now understood that their approach has to change, not to depend on big men. At least for as long as I know, in the Biden policy, this is how it's working. That they are not going to be paying more attention on strategic partners, but they are going to be working with their countries of interest directly. Like they will work with Kenya directly, they will work with Somalia directly, they will work with Ethiopia directly. They will not be using Museveni to go and work on their behalf in Ethiopia or Somalia. You get it? So what that means is that Museveni's strategic usefulness, that means that Museveni has outlived his strategic usefulness, that he is no longer needed. So that's what it means. So can we still pursue our interests without Museveni? Of course, the Americans have discovered that they can still pursue their interests without Museveni. That's why recently, Museveni made a report that they had killed 182 Al-Shabaab militants. And in the Pentagon, that was really, really obnoxious news. They could not believe that this gentleman is now concocting operations. He's concocting deaths. And that really, spoiled his reputation. And there are so many things. Museveni, as a strategic partner in Somalia, will come and make an episode about Uganda and Somalia, how all this whole thing started. You remember very well the incident where Ugandan government was selling arms to Al-Shabaab. And in the end, what happened was that actually America was financing its own war indirectly. The same thing that happened in Afghanistan. So, Museveni, the Americans have realized now that we can do this without even anchormans, without even players in the region. And do not be surprised that the withdrawal of Ugandan troops from Somalia is imminent anytime soon. And it is happening anyway. Because the commanders that were in Somalia, most of them are on sanctions. Now, also, to say that Museveni and values, what are the American values? Democracy, human rights, blah, 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 right? So, do the Americans put their interests first or their values first? Okay? Well, they put their interests first. But how do you carry out your interests? Well, you need partners, you need people that you can work with in an area. But can these people be there for all the time? No. The American interests are still going on in Egypt. Even after the Mubarak was overthrown, who was a very big strategic partner. The American interests are still going on in Zaire after Mobutu Sese Seko was overthrown. So what that means is that no man is an island. Yes, that's what it means. Now, the American values. You see, this is what is happening. Uganda is a very big test for the Biden administration. Uganda is going to either make or break the Biden administration. Because you cannot condemn Putin over Navalny, Burma over Aung San Suu Kyi, and then you prop up Museveni in Africa. Because when you do that, all your values are thrown out of the window. And that is why it is becoming so hard for the Americans to proceed. They are looking for ways on how to proceed with this, but they are stuck. And now they have made a decision that Museveni has to go. So if you see that Uganda is in press briefings and things of that sort in their conversations, you just know that it is time up. And no one knows that better, more than the president himself, Museveni. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be back for more episodes and talking about more issues that are happening in the country. Subscribe to the channel, share the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.